Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video we are going to be doing this Freddy Krueger. He is going to be all one piece. We will make the arms first and then we'll do the head, attach the arms when we start the body, and then we'll move down onto the legs. This video is a crochet along, so I will be doing every stitch along with you. If you do get stuck or lost, there will be a little drop down menu right across the top at the beginning of every row for about 15 seconds. To save myself a little bit of time, there will be a few sections of previously recorded video where I will be adding in parts from this. So the head I will be doing in the brown, and you'll be doing in the skin color of your choice. And then when we get down to the legs, I'm going to add in this guy again, and I'll put a little explanation in when I do it. And it also helps a little bit that this is a lighter yarn and this is darker and harder to see. And I know a lot of my regular viewers have been waiting patiently for this character to come out, so I thank you for your patience and your support. If you are a new viewer, make sure you click the subscribe button and you will be notified when I load new videos. You can also hit the like button or leave me a comment. And I think that's about everything I need to tell you, so let's get started. Okay, for the arm, you are just going to make a knot with a loop on the end. And don't forget, one of his arms is going to be brown and one of his arms is going to be skin color. So if you've come back to do the second arm, make sure you've switched your color for the hand. Okay, so you're going to grab your yarn. You're going to chain one. And remember, that's just to anchor your yarn. That does not count as a stitch. And then you're going to do 6 single crochets into the loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And grab a stitch marker if you are using one. And for round 2, you are just going to do 6 increases for a total of 12. So increase 1 and 2, increase 3 and 4, increase 5 and 6, increase 7 and 8, increase 9 and 10, increase 11 and 12. For rows 3 to 5, we are just going to do 12 single crochets all the way around. I am going to count consecutively to 36 and then just flip my stitch marker every time I hit a set of 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, up, and 12. Flip your stitch marker. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Flip your stitch marker. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. For row 6, we are going to do 1 single crochet and 1 decrease, and repeat that all the way around for a total of 8. So 1, and a decrease is 2, 3, decrease is 4, 5, decrease is 7, or 6, sorry, 7, and decrease for 8. And don't finish that off because we are going to change our color to green. So we're just going to tie our green on. Whoop. So I'm just going to give it about 3 ties. Whoops. And then we're just going to pull that through. Yeah. And we'll cut off our brown or our skin color, whichever color you are doing at the moment. And now for row 7 and row 8, we are going to do 8 single crochets all the way around. So 1, I'm going to get these out of my way here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just going to count consecutively my second row. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, and we're not going to finish that off because we're going to switch to our red. So we're just going to tie that on, a couple of knots. And don't cut your green because we're just going to use that as we keep on going up, and then we don't have to keep cutting and tying. Okay, so we'll pull that through. Flip our stitch marker. And we are going to do rows 9 and 10, 8 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Flip your stitch marker. And then we are just going to count again. I'm just going to go to 16 for 2 rows. So, or yeah, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And don't finish that off because we are going to grab our green and we're going to pull that through. And flip our stitch marker. Row 11 and 12, we are just going to do 2 rows of 8 single crochets, so exactly the same as we've been doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Flip your stitch marker. I'm going to keep on going to 16. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And don't finish that one off because we're going to be switching to our red again. So take your red and pull that through. And flip your stitch marker. Oh, we might as well tie this green off right now because we are done with it. So just cut it up of an inch or 2 above where your arm is. And then just give it a good tie. And tuck that in if you can. Now flip your stitch marker. And for round 13, you're just going to do 8 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, you can take your stitch marker out, and we're going to put a little bit of stuffing in there. Not too much. We want to keep this fairly flat, but we want to have just a little bit of hint of stuffing in there. So this might even be enough for both. Yeah, I think it will be enough for both hands. So just kind of make sure you have the same amount, and put one to the side for your other hand. And we are going to stuff that in. All the way to the bottom. And then we're going to leave the arm unstuffed. And now we are just going to fold it, and we're going to put 3 single crochets all the way across. So you want to go in both sides of the V on this side and both sides of the V on the other side, and then you're just going to single crochet across. So 1, 2, and 3. And then tie that off. Leave a little bit of a tail because we're going to use that to pull in the arms later on. Ow! So now you're going to want to go back and do your second arm. Don't forget that you want the, if you did brown, you want skin color, and if you did skin color, you want brown. And I will put a little screenshot in the next frame with a timestamp for the beginning of the arm. And then once you're done your second one, just go on past that and we'll start on the head. And don't forget, I'll be doing the head in this color. You will be doing the head in whatever skin color you have chosen. To begin, we are just going to make a loop as if we were going to start a chain. So just wrap it around your finger, down and through. We're going to be putting 6 single crochets in there. So make it about just a little bigger than your hook. And we're going to put our hook in the loop, grab the yarn, pull through, and just do 1 chain to secure our yarn to our loop. And that does not count as a stitch. So for round 1, we're going to do 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Grab your stitch marker if you're using one, and I'm just using a piece of thread. And for round 2, we're going to do 6 increases, so that'll be 2 stitches in every stitch around. So first increase, 1 and 2, increase 3 and 4, increase 5 and 6, increase 7 and 8, increase 9 and 10, and our last increase 11 and 12. flip your stitch marker, and for round 3 we are going to be doing 1 single crochet and 1 increase for a total of 18, and we'll repeat that all the way around. So 1 increase, 2 and 3, and then repeat that sequence, 4, 5 and 6, 7, increase, 8 and 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, increase, 14 and 15, 16, and our last increase, 17 and 18. For row 4, we are going to do 2 single crochets, 1 increase, and repeat that all the way around. 1, 2, and our increase, 3 and 4, 5, 6, increase, 7 and 8, 9, 10, increase for 11 and 12, whoops, 13, 14, and our increase, 15 and 16, 17, 18, increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, and our last increase, 23 and 24. Row 5, we're going to do 3 single crochets, 1 increase all the way around, and repeat that for a total of 30. So 1, 2, 3, and an increase, 4 and 5. Repeat that over. 6, 7, 8, and an increase, 9 and 10. 11, 12, 13, and an increase, 14 and 15. 16, 17, 18, and an increase for 19 and 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24 and 25, 26, 27, 28, and our last increase, 29 and 30. Row 6, we are going to do 4 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 36. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, increase 11 and 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, increase 17 and 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, increase 23 and 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and increase for 29 and 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and an increase 35 and 36. Whoops. For round 7, we're going to do 5 single crochets, 1 increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 42. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and our increase 6 and 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, increase 13 and 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, increase 20 and 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, increase 27 and 28, 29, whoops, 30, 31, 32, 33, and our increase 34 and 35. This should be our last set. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, and our increase 41 and 42. For rows 8 to 14, we are just going to do 42 single crochets all the way around, and that'll be 7 rows. I'll do the first row with you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, maybe yarn is catching here, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. Okay, so that would have been row 8. So you're just going to keep continuing on, row 9 to 14. So that'll be 6 more rows. And I will come back and catch you up when we're ready to start row 15. Okay, you should be ready to start row 15, which is going to be 5 single crochets and 1 decrease, and you'll repeat that all the way around for a total of 36. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll do a decrease for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, decrease for 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and a decrease, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, decrease 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, decrease 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, whoops, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36 is a decrease. Row 16 is going to be 4 single crochets, 1 decrease all the way around for a total of 30. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is a decrease. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is a decrease. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 is a decrease. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 is a decrease. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 is a decrease. 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30 is a decrease. Row 17 is going to be 3 single crochets and 1 decrease all the way around for a total of 24. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 is a decrease. 5, 6, 7, 8 is a decrease. Oops. 9, 10, 11, 12 is a decrease. 13, 14, 15, and 16 is a decrease. 17, 18, 19, 20 is a decrease. 21, 22, 23, and 24 is a decrease. Row 18 is going to be 2 single crochets and 1 decrease for a total of 18. 1, 2, 3 is a decrease. 4, 5, 6 is a decrease. 7, 8, 9 is a decrease. 10, 11, and 12 is a decrease. 13, 14, 15 is a decrease. 16, 17, and 18 is a decrease. Okay, so you should have a head and 2 arms made now. And we are just going to attach the arms. So where we made our last decrease, we're just going to pull that out so we can make a color change to red. So start your last decrease, don't finish it, and then we'll attach our red. And then we'll just pull our new color through those last 3 loops. Okay, for row 19, we are going to do 3 single crochets. And then you're going to grab your arm. How are we doing this? So this is going to be the brown one. So make sure your arm is facing with the strings to the front. And you're going to put 3 single crochets through the arm and then through the head. Making sure you get in all 4 loops of the V's. So 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to do 6 single crochets across the front, making sure that you don't go in the same stitch that you were doing your arm in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then grab your other arm and make sure your strings are facing the front. So they'll be going this way. And then you're going to do the same thing, 3 single crochets through the arm and through the head. 1, 2, and 3. And then you should have 3 single crochets left in the round. So 1, 2, and 3. For row 20, you are going to do 2 single crochets and 1 increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. So 1, 2, and your increase, 3 and 4. 5, 6, and increase, 7 and 8, 9, 10, and increase, 11 and 12, 13, 14, increase, 15 and 16, 17, 18, and increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, and your increase, 23 and 24. And then flip your stitch marker. Whoops. Don't finish 24 because we're changing to green. So you want to leave it like that with the 2 loops on the hook. Grab your green and tie that to your red. This doesn't want to. Okay. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then you're just going to let your red go because we're going to use that again. So don't cut that yet. Grab your green and finish off that 24th stitch. And sorry, I didn't realize my red stitch marker isn't going to show up. I wasn't thinking when I pulled that color, but flip your stitch marker if you're using one. For rounds 21 and 22, we are just going to do 2 rows of 24 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Flip your stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whoops, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. And don't finish that stitch. You're going to grab your red and you're going to pull that through to finish off that 24th stitch. For round 23, we are just going to do 24 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, flip your stitch marker. For round 24, we are going to do 3 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 30. So 1, 2, 3, and increase 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, and increase 9 and 10. $11, $12, $13, increase 14 and 15. 16, 17, 18, and an increase 19 and 20. 21, 22, 23, and an increase 24 and 25. 26, 27, 28, and our increase 29 and 30. And don't finish off that last stitch because we are going to switch back to green. So grab your green, pull that through, flip your stitch marker. For rows 25 and 26, we are just going to do 30 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Flip your stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And don't finish that stitch because we are switching back to red. So pull your red through, and then we can tie off that green and cut it off. So cut it about an inch or two from your body. And then give that a little tie to secure it. All right, so now we are going to do row 26A, and we are going to be going in the front loops of our last row. So instead of going through here, we are going to be going up through the middle of that V and just catching that front loop. And we are just going to do 30 single crochets around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And make sure you are staying in the front loop because you're going to need this back loop to join the legs. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. And that should bring you right back to where you started. Okay, for row 26B, we are going to be making this little kind of fringy, zigzaggy bottom. We're going to start with, we're going to do, in the same stitch, we're going to do a single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. And then we're going to skip the next stitch, and then we're going to do a slip stitch, and then we're going to repeat that all over again, all the way around. Okay, so single crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, and then single crochet in that same stitch. And then you're going to skip the next stitch and slip stitch in the stitch after that. So slip stitch, and there's your first little peak. Okay, so I'll do it slow one more time. Single crochet in the next stitch, chain 2, 1 and 2, and then single crochet in that same stitch you just went in. Then you're going to skip one and then slip stitch in the next. And now you should have 2 little peaks. Alright, so single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the same stitch, skip a stitch, slip stitch. Next stitch, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in that same stitch, skip a stitch, slip stitch. Single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, skip a stitch, slip stitch. Single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, skip a stitch, slip stitch. Single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, skip a stitch, slip stitch. I'm going to have a little yarn problem here. 1 second. Okay, so we're at slip stitch, so single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, skip a stitch, slip stitch, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, skip a stitch and a slip stitch, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and we should have skip a stitch and slip stitch. And then you are going to tie that off. And you are done with the red. You might want to Do we want to weave that in right now? Maybe, hey? We just basically got to get this so it stays on the inside. And we kind of got a mess here, but when you go on the inside, go down through under this one back loop so that you can get in it when you start on the pants. And I don't think I'm going to worry about weaving that in too bad. I'm just going to tack it in there. Okay. Okay, I'm going to try and see if I can get this brown to kind of show up. And we're going to do start on his bottom half. So you're going to tie a knot with a loop at the end so we can attach this. And you're going to want to go in your first back loop right here. So here's where we ended. And this is our first. It might be a little tricky to get into. And then attach your yarn. And then do a chain 1. And this isn't going to count as a stitch. And now for row 27, sticking in the back loops, we are going to do 30 single crochets. So we're going to put our first one where we just attached our yarn in that same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Whoop. Okay, for rows 28 to 30, we are just going to do 30 single crochet all the way around. So that is 3 rows. So I am just going to count to 90 and flip my stitch marker every time I hit 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Put your stitch marker. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and 60. Flip your stitch marker. Uh, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, and 90. So that's our 3 rows of 30. For row 31, we are going to do 3 single crochets and 1 decrease for a total of 24. So 1, 2, 3, and a decrease for 4. Just repeat that all the way around. 5, 6, 7, and decrease for 8, 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12, 13, 14, 15, and a decrease for 16, 17, 18, 19, and decrease for 20, 21, 22, 23, and decrease for 24. And we're just gonna put him down for a minute. I think we're gonna add his eyes, and we'll get him stuffed up, and then we will do the legs. Okay, so let's get a little bit of stuffing up inside his head, and you're going to want this to be fairly firm. I'm going to fold mine over just so I don't get too many white stuffing particles on that dark brown. So to start with, I'm just going to kind of lightly stuff it so that I can kind of see the shape, so we can put the eyes on. And I am using 12mm safety eyes. They don't have to be 12. That just happened to be what I have a lot of. You can also embroider your eyes. So what I like to do is find the center, and you can use these 6 stitches that are at the front when you attach the arms. So if you go 3 this way or 3 this way, that should be, that middle right there should be about your center. So you just come up, and I'm just going to stick it in there for now. And then we're going to go down 11 rows, and we're going to stick our eyes in between row 11 and 12. So you'll start counting at your where you made your circle, your loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And so just under there, looks like I got my thing right in the right spot to begin with. And we're going to go over to the 3rd hole from the center. So 1, 2, and then in this 3rd one, we are going to put our eyeball. And then we're going to go 3 over on this side. 1, 2, and then in that 3rd hole, you're going to put your other eyeball. And if your stitches are really tight, try spinning it while you go down. That sometimes can help a lot. Or if they're super, super tight, put your darning needle in and through a couple of times, and that should open that stitch a little bit, especially when this part goes through. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of stuffing out so that I can put the, oh, I guess I'm taking it all out. So I can put the eyes in. or the backs on the eyes. And just listen for those clicks. And then do the other one. Oops, I got some stuffing in there somehow. Listen for the clicks. I didn't hear much clicks, but I felt them. Okay. And now put your stuffing back in if you had to take it out. Oh, we knocked Freddy over. Well, he's been standing there a while, I guess. And when you put your stuffing in, make sure you kind of go to the back a bit, so you're not stretching these, and you're not tipping your, pushing your eyes, your post of your eyes up or down. And you do want this fairly firm. Just make sure you're not opening up your stitches when you stuff it in, because you won't be happy with it if you can see your stuffing through your stitches. All right, I think that's good enough. I'll put a little bit in the body. Just remember, you have to squish it up a bit for the legs. So you want to have lots of stuffing in there to fill it up, but you don't want it so firm that when you're working on the legs, it's just a nightmare to try and get your hook in and around. So about like that, because you can also add a little bit more once your legs up are on. Okay. Okay, so now to save time and because this is lighter yarn and it just works out better, I'm going to pop in the video clips for when I did this doll. So you're going to go, I'm going to show you how to find your center for both your legs, and then you're going to do rows 1 to 6, and then you're going to change your color to black and do these last 4 rows in black for both sides. And if you're quite experienced in this, or you think you can, I found a little easier way to do it was to do your 1 to 6 rows in the brown and your 1 to 6 rows in the brown here, and then come back, and since you're changing color anyway, do the two feet. So your last 4 rows on each feet after your legs are up to here and stuffed, if that makes sense. Whoop. And because there is no color change in the video for this brown one, I will somehow put a something across the top saying to switch color when you get to the last 4 rows. Or if I can figure it out, I'll try and splice my old video and stick a quick little, okay, change colors now, little memo in there. Okay, so finish up the legs, and I will see you back to do the next part, and probably tie all these in, and I think do his face. So to get started on the legs, we're just going to set ourselves up with the right amount of stitches and put our little markers in that we need. So you're going to find your center, fold it in half. And you want to find the center on each side. So I'm going to go about there. So this will be the back side. Where's my needle? This will be the back side, and then this stitch will be the front side. And we are going to count 12 stitches from this stitch, or I mean 6 stitches from this stitch over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this will be the end of your first leg. And you're going to go into the 7th stitch and just place your needle in there for now. And that'll be the first stitch of your second leg. So now we're going to count 12 for the second leg, starting with this first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Put the other end of your needle in there or whatever you're using. And we're just going to tie a string on there so that when we're doing the first leg, we don't touch this second leg at all and go in the wrong stitches. And I'm just going to tie a little bow there. However you do it, make sure it's easy to undo, because you're going to start running into some space issues when you start getting it going on the legs. So now you should have 12 stitches on this side and 12 stitches on this side. And don't worry how it looks. We got this kind of loose over here. They will be even once we get going. Okay, for row 1 of the leg, we are going to put 12 single crochets all the way around. And you may be a touch off on your stitch count with me. That's okay, as long as you have 12 stitches going around. So for me, it's 1, 2, and we don't go into this stitch. That's where our stitch marker is. We turn around. We don't go into this stitch where our stitch marker is. We'll go into this one. So for me, it's 3, and you can pull that tight if you need to. 4. Well, that one definitely needs to be pulled tighter. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And that should bring you right back around to put your next stitch in your next row where your stitch marker is. Okay, so rounds 5 to 6, we're just going to do 12 single crochets all the way around. So round 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Move your stitch marker. So round 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Flip your stitch marker. Round 4, we'll do another 12 all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Round 5, another 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And our last row, row 6. 1, 2, whoops, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So that was row 1 to 6. Okay, I'm popping in like I said I would. This is where you're at right now. You can stuff this up and continue on to the 4 rows of black, or you can skip those 4 rows for a second, go do your second leg, so then you have both your legs 1 to 6 before you change your colors, and this makes this leg a lot easier to work on when you can kind of push this one down. And then you'll come back and attach your black and follow the instructions to do the little feet. Now for row 7, we are going to do 1 single crochet and 1 increase for a total of 18. So 1, 2, and 3 for our increase, 4, increase 5 and 6, 7, increase 8 and 9, 10, increase 11 and 12, 13, increase 14 and 15, 16, and our last increase 17 and 18. For row 8, we're just going to do 18 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Now we're going to add our stuffing. You're going to want this to be a bit on the firm side because he's going to be standing on his legs, and you may have to go up in here a little bit, just so you don't have like a kink or a crinkle there in the leg. And when you get to the end of your leg, you want the stuffing to be straight across, kind of flat, even. Ooh, I'm getting that up in the tummy instead of the leg. Kind of even, so it's straight across here. I think I'm going to have to up that a little bit. Because you want this to be flat when you close it and not round. And he will kind of stand up on his own if you manipulate him a little bit. You can always add a little bit extra once you're done the last round before you close up if you need to. We'll see how this goes. I have enough already, but that might be in my way. Okay, for the next round, we're going to be going in the back loops. So, instead of going through here like we've been doing our normal stitches, we are going to go down through this V in the middle, and we're going to be coming up, whoops, through that stitch right there. Okay, so for round 9, in the back loop, we're going to do 1 single crochet and 1 decrease for a total of 5 stitches. So 1, and 2 is a decrease, 3, and 4 is a decrease. Try not to get the stuffing as you're going in. 5, and 6 is a decrease. 7, 8 is a decrease. 9, 10 is a decrease. 11, and 12 is a decrease. Now I'm going to just add a little bit more stuffing before I do my last row here. Make sure it's staying flat and you're not adding too much, but this is fairly firm. Okay, for row 10, you're just going to do 6 decreases. And we're going to go how we would normally go under both loops of the V. So 1 decrease, 2 decreases, 3 decreases. Oops, I lost my string there somehow. So you keep going, I'm going to catch up. 4 decreases. 5 decreases. And 6 decreases. And then you're just going to put a slip stitch in the next stitch. And pull yourself a little bit of a tail to tie around. And then we're going to stitch this up. So thread your yarn onto your needle. I'm going to go through the front loops. And you're going to cinch that up and pull it nice and tight. Find a spot where you can tie it and hide your knot down inside. And I'm only going to do one because I'm going to be tying both legs together back here in the body, so I don't have to worry too much about the confidence of that knot, because I'll have a better knot up here. And you're just going to pull it through somewhere near the center in the back of your little character. And so you'll pull that nice and tight. And then we'll start on the other leg. Okay, you're just going to make a little loop on your string, but leave yourself a tail of about, I don't know, 12 or so inches long, because you're going to use this tail to sew up this hole that's left here at the end. So you want to make it just about the size of your hook to fit in there. And on the back side, you are going to come in the next stitch from where you marked your leg stitch for the second leg. And you're going to grab your yarn. You're going to pull that loop through. And you're just going to do a slip stitch. And then you're going to start your 12 single crochets with your first one in that same stitch you just slip stitched in. So for round 1, 12 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now your stitches might be different than me. My 11th stitch is going to be going where I marked that stitch for the second leg. So for me that's 11. Then you're going to turn it around. And you're going to go in your 12th stitch is where your other side of your marker is. And pull that tight. You don't want it any looser than it needs to be. It's a little tricky, but just take your time, get it right. Okay, so that's 12. I'm going to take out my marker. We don't need it there anymore, and I'm just going to use it as my new stitch marker for the second leg. And make sure you keep this string out so it's easy to get to when you're finishing off. Alright, so stitch marker. And now we are going to do rows 5 to 6, 12 single crochets, and then continue on for the foot. But I'm going to do that off camera, and I will just put a little screenshot after this into the next frame, and you can finish that on your own, and then we'll come back and close up and tie off these arms. Okay, so let's take care of all of our ends now. So we're just closing up this second foot. And you bring that out the back exactly where you brought the other one out. And what we want to do now is we want to pull our threads tight enough that this is nice and flat. So do the other one. And then we'll give them a fairly good tie. Trying to keep them firm and flat as we tie them. But don't break your threads. And we'll just put that up and out somewhere. Up at the top. With a cut. And then we'll fix this little hole right here. Let's see if turning my little light on helps. What we want to do is we want to go in on this side, and we're going to be going in these 2 stitches on both sides. So the matching stitch on this side, and then the matching stitch on the other side. And then tighten that up. And you just do 1 or 2 more times like that. Whoops. And then just find a stitch or a little loop that's really close where you were, and you're just going to get that a knot. And then pull it up inside. and up and out somewhere up the top. Make sure you get that knot you just made kind of pulled in so you can't see it. And then we'll do the arms. And you want to take, you want to go in right where you did your stitch to join, so right in this hole right here, and then out the center back somewhere. I like to stick pretty close to the neckline. And then do the same for the other side. So find where your stitch was and then go right in there and come out the same hole that you took your other thread out. And then you are going to give them a tug to bring them in. Pull until you kind of feel that kind of knot slip kind of into the stitch. And then we're going to give it a couple of ties. And then we'll thread that down in through the body somewhere. Okay. So now I'm just going to pin our face together. So I'm going to pin where his nose is going to go. So I'm just going one stitch over from the eye. And then his eyebrows are going to start right around here at the top of his eye on the one side, and then put the matching one on this side. I don't know if I should be there or there. And then put the other one just kind of even with this side of the eye, one row up. So about like that. And then we will do his mouth. 1, 2 or 3 rows down and a couple of stitches apart. I'm going to try and keep it fairly even with the nose. I see that's stretched a bit. Maybe it's because I got a tiny pin. Let's try a bigger pin. So about like that. So we'll do the nose first. So grab your skin color. And you're just going to come a row below the nose. And you're going to go up where your first pin is. Leave a little bit of a tail for tying. And then you're going to go across through your other, where your other pin was. And you're just going to go back and forth a couple of times in between those two stitches, just so you kind of make a little bump and a hint of a nose. So I think I'm going to go 4 times. You see that's 3, and then 1 more time and out where you started. And then you're just going to give that a little tie. And you're going to bring that through to the back of the head. And then just watch you don't pull too hard and wreck what you did on your nose here. I think we could have put a couple more stitches in there, but okay, I'm going to start over here somewhere. I'm going to come up to my mouth pin, and then I'm going to go down to my other pin. I'm going to go up to my furthest eyebrow pin. And then I'm going to come in to that eyebrow pin and over to this one. Then we're going to go over to this far eyebrow pin and back down and come out where we first started. Let's see how we did. Not too bad, I don't think. This eyebrow could be a little longer, but so now we're just going to tie that off. Don't pull it too tight because you don't want to make more tension on your eyebrows and your mouth. And then you're just going to pull that out the back of his head somewhere. And just check you didn't pull his face too bad. I got a little bit of stuffing came out of that one. I'm worried about this side of this eyebrow, but so we might as well make his ears right now. Make a loop, leaving a long tail. And you want your hole for your loop to be fairly small. Grab your yarn, make 1 chain to attach it, and then you're just going to do 6 single crochets into the loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then just slip stitch into the loop and tie that off. And you just want to make 2 of those. Make a loop, leaving a long tail. And you want your hole for your loop to be fairly small. Grab your yarn, make 1 chain to attach it, and then you're just going to do 6 single crochets into the loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then just slip stitch into the loop and tie that off. Okay, whoops. So I'm just going to tie those together. Make sure your knot is down at the bottom here. Thread your needle. I made a mess of that. This is why it takes me almost as long to do the face as it does to do the whole guy. So we're just going to come from the middle of his eye down and around to somewhere about where his arm starts. And just put that in and out the back somewhere. And then we'll do the same thing with this ear. Tie these 2 together. Thread it on your needle. And same thing, go around from this eye, whoop, just come around till you're just kind of in front. You can count where you went here if it helps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and behind the 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, and just behind the 5th. So we're pretty close. Just have a double check that you're happy with where they are. I think so. And then you're just going to give them a good tie in the back. Make sure you have the right strands for each ear. So you can get a good tie. And then pull them in a little bit. I'm going to do that 3 times. And then we are just going to put all these strands back through his head. I'm going to see if I can get them all at one time. If I still had my fingernail, I probably could. Huh, I did it. Small wins, you always got to take them. And I'll just bring that down out the back somewhere. It's going to be a pretty tight tug. Fix your hole and then give them a little cut. And we might as well do his little face sculpting while we're up here on his head. And I always do this a little differently. But so find your center again with your 6 single crochets from when you attach the arms. And I'm going to go over, I think, I'm going to do it in the second stitch, so the middle. So if that was your center, I'm going to not do this stitch, and I'm going to go over one more. And I'm going to go up just on this side of the eye. Leave quite a bit of string on this side because you got to wrap that around his neck. And then go just under his eye, and then you're going to match that on this side. So under his eye and then just beside his eye. And then you're going to come into that second stitch there. So this is your center, that's your first stitch, and you're going to come over in this second stitch. And then just kind of pull it so you've got quite a bit of yarn down here on both sides. And then you're just gonna bring it down and in however you feel looks right for you. Just kind of play with it a little bit. This one might need to be tied. It seems like it's not holding. And then just kind of weave your ends back and forth around the edge. Till you get approximately in the center. And I'm going to make this my center. And then do that with the other side. Careful not to get your needle in this piece of yarn because you won't be able to slide it like you're going to need to. Just weave back and forth, and hopefully you have an even amount and you get right back out that hole. If you don't, for some reason, skip one of these stitches. Just make sure you come up in the same. And then let's tie these making sure we keep our threads going in the same direction. So the one coming from out around here should still be going that way and vice versa. And then we're just going to give it a nice tight pull. Make sure you don't pull so hard that you're going to break your strings. And then give it a good couple ties. Sorry, you're seeing more of my hands, I think, than what I'm doing here. I'm going to tie mine 3 times. Careful to kind of keep my knot from twisting. And go in that same hole, and then bring your thread out somewhere. Got a bit of a shape to his head. It's totally different than the other one, but that's okay. Or maybe it's not bad. I can't even see what's happening. To begin the hat, we are going to make our knot with a loop on the end. And we are going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. For round, we are going to start in the second chain from the hook. So not this one, but this one. And we're going to do 4 single crochets, but I'm going to stick my little stitch marker in there so I know where I'm at when I come around the other side. So we're going to do 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to do 3 single crochets as we kind of rotate this end around so we're on the other side. So 1, turn a little bit, 2, and 3. And now we should be on the other side of our chain, and we are going to do 3 single crochets. So starting in the next stitch, 1, 2, and 3. And then we are going to do 1 increase in this last stitch mark, or stitch where we have our stitch marker. So an increase, 1 and 2. And we should have 12 stitches all the way around. For row 2, we are going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do 3 increases. So 1 increase, 2 increases, and 3 increases. then we're going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do 3 increases. So 1 increase, 2 increases, and 3 increases. For round 3, we're going to start with 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet and 1 increase 3 times. So single crochet and an increase, that's once. Single crochet and an increase, that's 2 times. And single crochet and an increase, and that is 3 times. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet. We're going to do 3 single crochets. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase 3 times. So 1 single crochet and an increase. That's once. 1 single crochet and an increase. That's twice. And 1 single crochet and an increase. And that's 3 times. And we should have 24 stitches all the way around. Row 4, we are going to start again with 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do 2 single crochets and an increase 3 times. So 1, 2, and an increase. That's 1 time. 1, 2, and an increase. That's 2 times. 1, 2, and an increase for 3 times. Then we're going to do our 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do our 2 single crochets and an increase 3 times. So 1, 2, and an increase. That was 1 time. 1, 2, and an increase. Was 3 times or 2 times. 1, 2, and an increase for 3 times. Sorry, I keep wondering why this corner over here is so dark. I might have to change my focus. Okay, for row 5, we are going to go in the back loop. And we're going to do 30 single crochets all the way around. So 1, whoops, not 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, oops, my yarn is splitting now here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. For row 6, we are just going to do 30 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. For round 7, we are going to do 4 single crochets and 1 increase, and repeat that all the way around for a total of 36. 1, oh, I can't get a position where I can actually put my hand down. 2, 3, 4, and an increase, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and an increase, 11 and 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and an increase, 17 and 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and an increase, 23 and 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and an increase, 29 and 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and an increase, 35, and 36. For row 8, we are just going to do 36 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. For row 9, we are going to be doing 5 single crochets and 1 increase for a total of 42. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and our increase, 6, and 7. 8, 9, 10, oops, 10, 11, 12, and our increase, 13 and 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and our increase, 20 and 21. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and our increase, 27 and 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and our increase, 34 and 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, and our increase, 41 and 42. For row 10, we will just be doing 42 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. Okay, we're going to start the brim of the hat now. And we are going to be chain oneing instead of going in the round, so we have a nice flat edge. So you're going to do a slip stitch in the front loop, and then you're going to do a chain one. And then you're going to do one single crochet in that same stitch in the front loop that you put the slip stitch. Okay, so for round 11, you're going to do one single crochet and one increase all the way around. And I haven't double checked this, but it should be 63 stitches. So we got 1, and then we'll do our increase, 2, 3, 4, increase, 5, 6, 7, increase, 8 and 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, increase, 14 and 15, don't forget front loops, 16, increase, 17 and 18, 19, an increase for 20 and 21, 22, and an increase, 23 and 24, 25, increase, 26 and 27, 28, increase, 29 and 30, 31, increase, 32 and 33, 34, increase, 35 and 36, 37, increase, 38 and 39, 40, and an increase, 41 and 42, 43 and an increase, 44 and 45, 46, increase, 47 and 48, 49, increase, 50 and 51, 52, increase, 53 and 54, 55, increase, 56 and 57, 58, increase, 59 and 60, 61 and increase, 62 and 63. Okay, and now for row 12, we are just going to slip stitch into where we made our first chain behind our first single crochet. Chain 1, and in that same stitch we are going to go around just straight 63 stitches all the way around. So starting in that first stitch where we slip stitched, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, and 63. And then you're just going to slip into that next stitch, make your slip stitch, and then you're going to knot that and tie that off. I might do that one twice, I think. And then leave yourself, how you want to do this? I guess leave yourself enough to stitch this around the head, because we're going to be stitching this whole area inside. So I usually leave myself 2 arms length, but you're going to need at least 2 times around here. And then if you want to use this string as well for the eyebrows, just leave a little bit extra for that too. Okay, so pull that through. So I'm just going to bring our knot kind of down into here somewhere where we're going to start our stitchings. And sometimes if you don't get this, like, it's not too bad of a bump, but sometimes if it's more like that, I'll just go in to a stitch behind the knot. And then a stitch in front of the knot. And it kind of pulls that sometimes into a bit of a smoother round. Okay, so I'll just tuck this down in here a bit. Whoopsies. Oh my goodness. Really having a problem here. Okay. There we go. All right, so let's pin it on. So this is going to be the back where our thread is. And I'm just going to kind of line up where we kind of started our first set of chains there towards the front. Decide how you want to have it sitting on his head. And then just give it a pin right there. And then go to the back. Kind of make sure you're still even. Whoop. And give that a pin. And then just kind of back behind where the ears would be. I'm doing the video of the hat first, so I'm not 100% sure if I'll remember to put the ears on before I do this. If your ears aren't on at this time, because I haven't videoed them yet, just kind of even with his arms is where you're going to want to put your pin. And then just check that that's where you want it. Looks good enough to me. Now let's just put a bunch of pins in here to secure that. I feel this is going to want to move around quite a bit. Okay. So now to sew it on, you're just going to start by going under. Where's this first one go? So go into the head, and you're going to want to go up and down and up and down and up and down. And then that way you should not see your stitches. Make sure you get through the head and then up through either the next or the second next, depending on how secure it feels to you. Sometimes it's a little easier to go to the second, but these are going to be kind of loose stitches because you just have the back loop. So I'm going to go through every stitch. I wish I could get down and up there. Oh, there, I got it. There, I got it one time. So just keep going all the way around till you get back here, and then you'll tie off. Whoops. And then I will meet you back here when that part is done. Okay, now we are just gonna have to make his claw, and then we I think are finished. And I can't remember, I didn't write down what I did, so we're just gonna wing it. But I think it was just single crochets and slip stitches. Okay, so I know we left a bit of a tail for sewing it on, and you're just going to make your knot with the loop on the end. Oop. Not a very good one. And let's chain 5. Try that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to start slip stitching down, starting in the second chain from the hook. So not this one, but this one. 1, oops, 2, 3, and 4, and then let's chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll do our 4 slip stitches starting in the second chain from the hook. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking okay, I guess. Chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll do 4 slip stitches, starting in the second chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we need one more. So chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. and then slip stitch back down, starting in the second chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think if you went down a hook size or two, these might turn out a little better. And then just tie that off and leave yourself a little bit again for sewing it on if necessary. Let's grab his arm and see how this looks. So it looks like I was on about the second row. So we're just gonna stitch that on there. You can pin it if you want, but this should be pretty easy to keep a handle on. You just want to make sure that all your stitches, all your claws kind of are on the top of his hand and don't wrap around his sides too much. So I'm just going to go in and out. Whoops, I grabbed the wrong side. I should just redo this. Okay. Well, we all can look at my nice sparkly yarn. That's a bonus. Okay, so go in the side of his arm, then go up. The first time I'm just going to kind of tack it, and then I'm going to come back and stitch it in a little better. So go around one of these stitches and then go up his second finger. And then go down his finger and into another stitch. I think I need to move over one. Nope, I went down a row accidentally. Sorry, I'm goofing this up quite a bit. Then come up his third finger. And go back in that same row. And then come up his fourth finger. And then go back, but when you go back, kind of catch a little more of the stitches instead of just that one piece of the chain. So I'm going to go back in and come up a little higher. Get that knot out of the way. And then I'm going to go back in on that same finger and down and up. Holy, I'm already at 6 minutes for this tiny little job. Then come up through and then go back down somewhere in his finger. And then come up through again on his, I guess going this way, it's his third finger. And then go back down. And then we're going to come up his fourth finger. And then back down somewhere. I don't want that to curl around too much, so be careful on that edge. Now, if you want to go back and fill in some of this, you can. I think I'm going to just leave it. I'm going to bring this side over, and then I'm going to tie the two ends. So I'm just going to stick that in and across out to where I have my other end. Then I'm going to give them a tie. Okay, so I'll just thread that in and we are done. So, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy my videos, because you will be notified every time I load another video. And again, I think I'd like to thank everyone for all the support you've been giving me, all the kind comments and words. I think I said this before, but it is definitely appreciated. And it really, even though I'm not great at videoing, it makes me feel good that you guys are enjoying the patterns that I am trying to put out on YouTube. Oh, also, don't forget, if I haven't mentioned it already, down in the description, I will have a link to my Facebook craft page. And if you want to share a photo of whatever you make with me, you can go there, and there is a post pinned at the top. You can leave a picture in the comments there. If this guy doesn't want to stand now, stand up. So you guys have a great day, be safe, and happy crocheting.